Austria, led by General Mack, now stands strong against the French armies, led by the famed Marshal Ney in today's NTW 3 historical battle. And yes, we do have a glorious NTW 3 historical battle here as we recreate the Battle of Gunzberg, fought in 1805, but part of the War of the Third Coalition. Obviously, Mack, you may well know of, obviously being part of the infamous Ulm catastrophe, which sees Austria's armies get sort of encircled and annihilated, a bit like that front line there was annihilated by the French artillery. Most of them getting back up, but a few of them are certainly not, as the Austrians now retaliate with a few volleys of their own there. The French are setting up, the French and the Bavarians getting into positions here. Ney actually wasn't at this battle, though obviously I said that like his army is very much present. It is actually a chap called Jean Mahler, but he is part of the 6th Corps, which is what Ney's corps was at the time. So we're using Ney's corps to represent the French forces in today's game. The French were actually the ones with the more troops here. 8,000 troops in this one against 7,000 Austrians. The Austrians though had vastly more guns, 26 guns to a paltry 6 for the French. But it certainly looks like already that is not going to be the case. I could count at least 2 guns there, another 2 over here, and there's another 2 already here. That's 6 alone, and that looks like one army. Yeah, here even more artillery. The French are certainly bringing plenty of artillery. It looks like a lot of Bavarian cannons as well being brought here. And as you can see, the Austrians already in retreat. The Battle of Gunzberg was a battle pretty much fought over the town of Gunzberg, and some river crossings here, which I'll go into in a moment. You can see the Austrians here getting hounded now by Bavarian cavalry as they try to retreat, redlining. These guys here trying to just hold the line while some of the other Austrians try and get out of here in one piece. And these guys seem to be able to square as well. But yeah, the Battle of Gunzberg fought over a town and basically over 2 crossings. 2 crossing points, which we have in today's game again, as the French or the Bavarian cab goes back in once again. But yes, the French have to seize a crossing, which they've done already. They've done very, very easily. So objective number 1 done. This is seizing one of the crossings that they have to take. There's another one over here that they also have to seize that the Austrians are still in control of at the moment. And there's artillery getting ready onto it. But that was kind of our plan a little bit. We were like, we cannot hold, looking at where the spawns are, we cannot hold the French at bay, or at least I cannot hold the French at bay because I was playing as this Austrian army here. I need to pull back, I need assistance from my allies. So the plan is to pull back. I'm going to take losses, it's going to be painful, but the French are quicker than me, even if a lot of their troops are Bavarian. They're quicker than me. I'm also marching through a forest in my retreat here. So I need to be careful of that. I don't know if that's... No, that's not fitting. That's just a very close quarter volleys going in there. That actually might get rid of that Bavarian unit. But we can't hang around. Actually, it's not. The Bavarian's still holding on. We've got to keep retreating. We're going to see some cav come up here as well. Some hussars here. And it looks like they might get used in a moment to try and scare off the French infantry, try and hold them at bay for a little bit. The plan is to fall back all the way to this hill, pretty much to where these guns are here, which we've got a beautiful point of view here. As the 10-pounders start shelling the French advance. Yeah, you got lots of Uhlans here and hussars getting ready. So they need to be careful of that. But yes, it's good to be back in the world of, the Napoleonics. Probably, I mean, it absolutely is my favorite period in history. It's the uniforms, the individuals, some of the battles. Oh, it's crazy, it really is. Such a great period of history. We've got French grenadiers here with their big bearskin hats. They're marching forward. They're going to be twirling those bayonets. There are actually Bavarian grenadiers available in support as well. I don't know if they brought any here today. Those Bavarians, they just merely have to touch the Austrians there, and the Austrians are running for their lives. And the Austrian infantry, it's large in number. But its morale is not great. I'm going to see Uhlans. I think they're going to go through the gap. Well, it's not really a gap, but they're going to go through the line infantry here that's routing. And I think, yeah, as you can see, they're stopping the Bavarians. The Bavarians can fall square. I think these are the Crown Prince or the Guard, like the Koenig infantry. They are pretty much grenadiers. They are technically line infantry. are down as like G3, I believe, as well. But there is actually in this corps a unit called a Bavarian Grenadier as well, which is also very, very cool. As yeah, look at this. I mean, the French have got guns set up on this road here. They've got so much horse artillery that they've got here, and they've got another one they're going to just set up here. And they're going to start pounding these Austrians. This is technically the town of Gunzberg here, which is not really actually part of the objective. The Austrians don't have to necessarily hold the town. They just have to retake the 2 crossings. Those are the important crossings to try and hold on to, because, well, they're trying to stop, obviously, the French from crossing the river. I'm trying to remember the name of the river now off the top of my head. I think it is the Danube is the river that Gunzberg is on. So yeah, this is the river Danube here. It's looking very mighty, that's for sure. It's a shame that we don't have a unique Gunzberg map, but this one works pretty well for our scenario. A lot of Austrian units are returning, which is good to see. A lot of the infantry should. That's the bonus of them being like 130-man units. They should return. And that was kind of a basic part of my requirement. I was like, I have brought grenadiers and the other units that can, actually do some melee and, have to fight to them. These guys can shoot pretty well as well. Austrian grenadiers actually are pretty good all-rounder. You don't obviously want your grenadiers to be going into line fights, but they actually have good stats. And they're quite large units, so they actually won't do too bad against the French. But yeah, a basic requirement for the Austrians, have a over 100-man unit. Maybe be able to square, but it's not really a requirement at all. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You can have terrible morale, and you don't need to square. You just need to be able to have 2 lines of Austrians, and that will help buff your morale. And that's exactly what's happening here. Look at this, 2 lines of Austrians. This is exactly what you need. Maybe fall that line back a little bit further, just to give yourself a bit more space. But that's exactly what you need to do as Austria. If you've never really played Austria or don't really know how to play NTW3, second lines always massively help morale. If your unit in the front has reassurances of units behind support, that's always going to help buff their morale. But yeah, we're pretty much back in one piece here. We've taken a bit of, like I said, a few losses, but nothing too serious. So, like I said, most of the Austrians should return. Over on the other side, no real strike has begun yet, though the French, I guess, technically are in control of the crossing. Now we have Bavarian light infantry here on the bridge, and the Bavarians are crossing as well. The other armies are starting to arrive here as well. So we have they're all max in today's game. The French, I believe, do have 2. I think have a similar amount of points, if not the same points. I think Ney's also an 8 points, so I think it is just 32 points for both sides here. But this Mac Corps has some very, very nice units in it, including cuirassiers here available, and there is one on the battlefield. I don't think the French have any sort of heavy cav to really contest. I think they just have a lot of Bavarian cavalry available, so lots of lights, and I don't even know if you count them as mediums, Chevalier Guards, really. They are really light cav. But yeah, we have another like Mac arriving as well. I believe that one of the army with the cuirassiers, I think, is just mainly made up of a lot of like elite troops. When I say elite troops, I mean like units that I guess can just square. We have a lot of grenadiers moving over here as well. Yeah, actually, this might be the army I'm thinking of. I think actually it's this one over here. I think it is just made up of mostly squarables and a lot of grenadiers. And I think this is the one that is part of the cuirassier army. I could be wrong. I could be a different one. But yeah, a lot of grenadiers coming forward for the Austrians. French obviously haven't really committed theirs either yet. I feel like these guys are overdressed in their greatcoats in the sunny day that we have here, and there's a town fight now taking place here already. Look at that, the French are in. The Allies are in the building, the Austrians are in the building. I imagine it's the Grenadiers in there. The Austrians, look at this, the Grenadiers here losing. More Grenadiers losing here as well. I mean, they're 103, they might return. The other one might get farmed down a little bit. That is not good, but yeah, look at the size of some of these French Grenadier units. They're just marauding through the town. Yeah, it's definitely Grenadiers in here for the Austrians. They blast away point blank range. They don't have to actually take this farmhouse, do the French. They could reduce this to 100% if they wanted to. It's at 21 already. Like I said, the river crossing to our key, and I think I did mention that. I was like, do at least our team. I don't know necessarily if the French got it mentioned. We've got Cav going in over here, Austrian Hussars going in. I think they managed to get the guns here. Yep, they managed to take out those guns that were setting up. They're going to be a problem for Austria. French Cav has managed to repel the Hussars from doing anything more, but does not rout them. And the Austrian infantry here is going to fill in the gaps. Now more French infantry is going to have to come forward. The French infantry at this point as well, 1805, can shoot pretty well. It can all melee pretty well. It's all well-rounded, and it's all pretty large units as well. To be honest, it's going to be a tectonic battle. See here, yeah, I mean, like, they're losing slightly of these German infantry here. I mean, this is a good point to try and aim at. The Austrian infantry here needs to kind of turn a little bit more, angle itself. Yeah, France dominating control of the town. I mean, this, by the way, this is not unit crossing. For those of you that say it in videos and in comments, that is not unit crossing. Unit cross when you're going into an aggressive move, and they are just having pathfinding issues, all just trying to cross that river in the same point. That's for sure. And over here, we got a push. We have a push to the French. We've got that Chevalier unit going into the Bavarians, and then infantry here. You can see the Austrians are just breaking. We've got Grenadiers behind those. Combat General Grenadier, and another one here. These guys squaring. They're going to try and take over control of the center of the battlefield here. And here come the columns. Here come all the columns. A lot of Bavarians coming forward, but still, they will do well. And look at how the French infantry here just being a pain. Being a real pain. I mean, yeah, we've got infantry here. I mean, it's blasting through its own troops, which are routing. But it is going to rout the French there. And the Grenadiers hold on. Yeah, there's 2 units of Grenadiers on the flank here, and they managed to hold on to that right flank, and Austria can sort of reform, rebuild. More Austrians are now arriving, thankfully. I was begging for infantry. I was like, I've definitely got multiple armies looking at me. I was like, I'm pretty sure, at least to start with I did. I don't know if I necessarily do now. I might just have the one. But I was like, I desperately need more troops. My army is like getting pulverized right now. But a lot of action around the town as well. There's definitely, I'd say, 2 armies here, if not 3. Actually, I can see 3 generals right on top of each other. So more than likely, actually, I think the attention of the French has now shifted towards the town. Mainly because that's where, I guess, if they can take the town, they can then obviously kind of then move up this road here and get behind the Austrian right themselves. But yeah, looking at that, look, you can see Austria nearly all set up, nearly all fully committed to the front. I mean, the infantry is getting bombarded and routed. French cannons right now doing work. Definitely not historically accurate how many cannons are here, but still good to have lots of cannons. It is the French, it is a French strength. They're absolutely entitled to bring them. Absolutely entitled. Got a 10 pounder, this 10 pounder position up here I was loving right now. I mean, you can see the French have literally nothing in this open field. They're that scared of putting anything there with 10 pounders. Surprised they would just dash for them, to be honest. So they are relatively well guarded, the Hussar by them, but still, they could go for it if they wanted to. There is another gun setting up here as well for the French. That looks like just a foot artillery for the Bavarians. That might be a problem. French really do need to try and get artillery into the front line. That will make a difference in sort of getting through these Austrian lines. But yeah, look at this. I mean, we've got technically like 3-4 lines in some places of reserves here. Now that the Austrians are arriving on force. And it looks like, yeah, Austria's setting a lot of stuff to the right. I got told to pull my Grenadiers and my infantry that was here out of the line, let the healthy new units arrive, and then it also just allowed this player to sort of micro a little bit better that was now coming over here. He was like, I will take this right flank, and then I'm going to actually take the offensive to the French shortly, was the plan. You can see France actually was thinking about taking the offensive himself, but he changed his mind when the fresh units arrive, and these boys getting out of it. Sacre bleu! The Austrians are coming! My terrible French accent. As the French once again attempt to take this town. They send in Bavarians this time. I don't know if they're Grenadiers, or like basic Bavarian infantry. I think they're trying to shoot the units outside as well. 71. I can't focus on the right unit, but there's 71 Grenadiers, I think, in there left. We'll do have Ferdinand von Österreich-Est here. I don't know why. Mack was the commander here. I guess just maybe the players decided to mix it up. Wanted to have Ferdinand, which is fine. We've got Mack already represented here. Again, cavalry going out as an Ulan here. Managed to get that gun, that Bavarian foot artillery. He's actually going to carry on through and see if he finds anything else. He literally went through that gap there. The German infantry just closing up. And he's, yeah, he might be able to get a general here. There is a general just hit right here, infantry forming square. There's actually a gun as well here. The Uhlans are red line and need to be careful, but they might be able to get that gun. Huge, like looks like a 12-pounder for the Bavarians that they've sent through the forest of all places as well. That's going to be slow moving, and that's going to take 3 to 4 working days to get into position. And that's not even if they're French. The French, you know, they don't work at a quick pace. I guess technically they're Bavarians, they'll be efficient. There you go. They've got the gun, they've routed it, they're going to route themselves. The cavalry is going to make sure they stay routed, I guess. But that's very much achieved. That Uhlan's paid for itself. It's killed off 2 guns there. It's probably worth a few hundred each. And in go the Bavarians once again. Austria being forced back once again. Though they're having some success, like I said, you know, in some areas of the Austrians, they still cannot seem to win a lot of these melee fights right now. The Bavarians and the French are doing a number over on them. This unit's looking the wrong way. He's getting charged in the back by the Austrians. We've got German grenadiers in here. We've got French grenadiers moving up. They need to start charging. I was going to say they need to go. They don't want to stand there and take a volley from the from the Austrians. In go the Bearskin boys. Start twirling your bayonets. If you win this battle, there might be a place for you in the old guard. Who knows? Who knows? My gosh, this artillery is shredding some of these grenadiers. Look at there's a line of grenadiers here waiting to go in. So even if they break through the Austrian front line, their reward is more Austrians. I don't know what this is. This I guess this is technically not a melee. That is unit crossing though. This unit here, this German grenadier. I mean, it's kind of just sent into melee accidentally now. So yeah, I guess. Oh, that's not fimming. That is absolutely. You can see where the French grenadier is. It's set up. It's actually attacking this corner over here. This unit here just got a beautiful side shot. They could get side shot themselves here. They need to be careful. More Austrian cavalry going in, just going straight down the middle of the battlefield, which has been left open by the French because no one wanted to deal with my 10-pounders. And the Austrians have sent another Uhlan, which has got another French gun. There's another one here, but I don't think they're going to get that one. Another huge Bavarian gun here, so it's kind of been slowly moved up. And you can see France has actually fallen back. Now that France is getting numerically, outnumbered, I could have just said, on this flank here. The Austrians are now pushing hard here, and they've now got the French on the run because this is now a 2v1. The Austrians are struggling on this side here. They are being pressured by multiple French armies. So there are a lot of French units now starting to withdraw, as it looks like the Grenadiers are starting to take the fight to the Bavarians. In they go with their mitre hats. Should win that one. Again, the reward is just more Austrians. Don't know if we can see all the French still, but yeah. Seems like they're thinning out. There's more elite variants moving forward here. You usually tell because they're in red. Usually the more like basic variants are not in red. They don't do red. Ingo, I think it's a Saxon. No, it's not. The building has fallen. There you go. The French have taken it. It's cost them thousands of lives, but the French are actually in that building now. They hold Gunzberg. Ooh, that might have been fimming. That absolutely might be fimming there from the Austrian. This unit is in melee. He needs to hold fire there. Grenadiers going in. They might break this line here. Here come the French. So cavalry going in. Squares being formed though by the German grenadiers there. That will scare them off. Are we going to see the heavy cav? It's getting ready. Don't know if it's going to go in yet. Generals are coming forward. Mack is being sent forward here to try and pop some rallies. This could be the decisive moment here. Building being lost. Austria is pretty much out of troops in this flank here. France could manage to stomach one last little push. They can then get up this hill and then sort of in behind the Austrians. But they're also kind of like looking a little thin here in the center. They are bringing up more troops. And And we are seeing a push by the Grenadiers, and the heavy cav is about to get committed, I think. So if France can manage to weather this storm that comes here from Austria, they're in a really good spot, I think. We are seeing Austrian troops being shifted across that left side from the right, because the right is looking good at the moment. Here come the cuirass. Squares are formed early, so that's giving Austria a sign to get out of there. He's not going to obviously attack now. France actually going in with the cav here as well, trying to start some sort of counter-offensive. They're holding this tree line quite nicely, and they're actually going into melee with the Austrians here. Might be all part of France's plan to tactically withdraw, give themselves a terrain advantage now instead of the Austrians having it on that hill. And Austria seems like he's going to repel that cav charge quite nicely. The cuirass are in melee. They've gone in. They're routing Frenchies, and yeah, the French are not weathering this storm right now. There's a general here very, very close to the cuirass, but there is going to be a Chevalier to save his life for now, but for how long? And the French are trying to set up some line infantry to get good side shots into the cuirass here. Really, I was going to say the Austrians need to just get in melee and stop them from shooting shooting the cuirass and prevent their lives being lost. Well, that's not going to happen. There's light infantry here for the Bavarians, so they're going to get some brilliant side shots there. And that's the cuirass routed. They've sort of weathered the storm a little bit, the French. They've taken a couple of losses themselves. But they're looking thin on this right-hand side. Both sides are pretty thin on this side. I mean, it's on the Austrians to really retake this town now. France does not need to push on this right-hand side. Austria is pushing on this on their right, though, the French left. We've got Grenadiers going in. They're dealing with French Grenadiers. Squares being formed. I guess that helps with melee bonuses, but just making a nice target for these other units to shoot you in the face. Here come the Grenadiers. Right down the middle. I think these are my Grenadiers that I was sending forward here. I was like, well, we're going to send these boys straight in, and we're just going to go straight through the middle of the battlefield here. It's not, I don't think there are French units here, I think. Just, can't be seen, but we're like, well, we're just going to take out these Bavarians, hit this line. That's pretty nice. Actually, it was not a bad volley. The infantry seemed to be unfazed. Those Grenadiers. Kind of didn't get a good enough side charge. Should have kind of pushed on a little bit further and got better side charge there. But still routed the Bavarians. Should get the other unit here as well. And actually, there is not more French here. I think we've got rid of them already, or they've already withdrawn. Austria, though, is, yeah, with his Grenadiers, obviously he's marching down this line here. He's done a really good job. I don't know if the general... I think the general is dismounted. I think he's in melee. These Bavarians will be shown no mercy, fighting against fellow Germans. Yeah, I think that is the general dead there. And that is pretty much the French left shattered now with that offensive from the Austrians. We're going to see them push forward once again. There's so many dead, though. Thousands of dead. Austrians and French here in this one. Certainly on this side here, yeah, the Austrians took an absolute beating around this town. Looking, I mean, yeah, look at, like, there's like hundreds of dead Austrians here. This is all from artillery, I think.
Your men have been routed, sir.
Brutal, it really is. I mean, it's still not done yet. Still not done yet. The French, they can sort of re-rally a little bit, turtle around the town and the crossings. Could really do a lot of damage to the Austrians here. Austria, though, luckily has lots of assets left, like artillery and cavalry, so should be able to make a difference there. 10-pounders are still sort of shelling away. I mean, they're now in the open of the like in this open sort of space here in the center. Are the French, so the 10-pounders can just freely shoot at most things here. Put some holes into these Grenadiers back here. I think we're aiming at the cavalry in reserve, because that is obviously what they have so little of now with the French. If we can take out their cav, we can really start to get wrapped around behind them, and obviously then our Austrian infantry, which can't square, doesn't really have so much to fear about. see the horse artillery here being sprinted to the other side of the battlefield just to get out of danger from this flank here, which the Austrians are now just steamrolling. There's nothing here the French can use to stop them. A couple of units here that just need to keep falling back. These Bavarian lights, get out of here, boys. There's a lot of angry Germans on their way. Yeah, Austria did well. I mean, we started poorly, I would say, by losing the town and the river crossings, and we had to withdraw. And it was a tactical withdrawal that could have gone really badly, and I think could have definitely been better executed by the French. I think if they committed more cav to the charge, to be honest, to try and rout my infantry, obviously would have forced in more Austrian cav, but that I think would have benefited the French massively because they could have used their own infantry. Going to see a cav charge here. Hussars going in column formation, going for the gun right next to this square. Getting said gun. And they should get out of that as well. They just don't want to be shot by their own grenadiers here. That was a very nicely executed charge. That was like a snipe. That was a general snipe. Like that gun was right next to the Koenig infantry. They just decided to just go, we're getting the gun. You can't stop us. They tried to square, I think, maybe square on top of the gun. Didn't quite manage it. But yeah, Austria managed to weathering the storm up on this hill, which we managed to hold, and giving up the objectives. France then carried on pushing, which in theory they didn't need to. Obviously, they felt like they had the Austrians on the run, and certainly time was on. Like it was on their, like points were on their side. Time was against them. They needed to keep pushing because the other Austrian armies were on their way, and they were going to take 5-10 minutes to arrive. So yeah, so France needed to just keep pushing. Though obviously, in theory, the rules suggest they didn't need to. In reality, you needed to keep pushing if you wanted to try and wipe out the Austrian armies that were right by the river to start with. And then you would be in a 4v2 and then another 4v2. Okay, here we go. Austria is coming back into Gunzberg. He's going to try and reclaim these streets. Another cav charge here. Ulan's going in, just going around the back here. They're going for this gun over here, another horse artillery. They might get it. Oh, that's a brilliant canister at the last second there. Very, very lucky. Actually, a good volley as well from the infantry. And that, yeah, Ulan, which was a 40-man unit, down to less than 20 in a split second. But yeah, France still has a lot of assets, actually. So they have a lot of cavs still left. They have a couple of units over here. There's another one shifting over here as well. A lot of reserves. So yeah, France is not out. France is absolutely not out of this fight just yet. We've got a lot of Austrians marching straight through this town as well. It seems like they're all just basic German infantry. Hopefully Austria still has grenadiers left to try and seize that building back. They're going to need them. In goes some more basic German infantry here. They're going to die. And here goes the battle for Gunzberg. And yet the Austrians getting with force back. This is going to be costly here, this fight. Austria have been having to be aggressive in a melee fight. Ideally, they need to try and get angles so they can get side shots. They need to try and engage a unit, but also leave a flank open so you can shoot it inside, like here. Literally like this fight here. Some great side shots into the Bavarians in the main street here. That's the sort of fight they need to win. They rout there, though. And I mean, some of the French are routing, but not a lot. A lot more Austrians going here. Getting supporting fire from that building is massively helping right now. France actually did try to continue to be aggressive. We got forced back. That kind of shows the capabilities of France right now. It can't be aggressive. It just needs to weather the storm itself. It needs to try and, you know, take the the Austrians numerically vastly outnumber them at this point. But they can stay in these streets and they can do what they do best, which is melee. They can whittle down and they can wear down this Austrian juggernaut, and they're doing it right now in this city. If this Bavarian horse artillery keeps firing canister shots like it's firing right now, it's doing a lot of damage to these Austrians. You can see another charge here, another little hussar being sent forward to go in and get the guns. And this time I think they're finally going to get him. Nope, he's pulled the gun crew off the guns, and we've seen Cav go in. And that's the hussar gone, and there you go, the gun survives. It has no carriages now, so it can't move. It's no longer a horse artillery. But it does not matter. It's positioned perfectly in front of all the Austrian infantry advancing there. Austria now holds this crossing once again, so they have control of one of them, so France cannot win the game as it currently stands. I mean, I guess arguably they could, because they still have a crossing over the Danube. If they were to, if the battle was to end right this second, you could argue, I guess, it's a draw. But Austria still also, I think the requirements were to hold both bridges. So yes, if it was the battle to end right this second, I guess it would be down as a draw. France needs to be careful here, he's being a bit too aggressive with his Bavarians. He has routed lots of Austrians, granted, and the town is once again clear of Austrians. They can't be too aggressive. As soon as they start pushing too far out these streets, they'll get flanked by cavalry, or they'll be shot in the flank by infantry. Cuirass is back. It's still relatively healthy at 63. Needs to be careful about unit crossing here. There's a lot of... I mean, it's unit crossing to get into position to go down this street by the looks of it. It's got a general, I presume it's Ney here. I presume all the generals are Ney. They're just mooching about. Got a grenadier still waiting by the house here. That's probably getting ready to go into the building. And the cuirass is just going in. Needs to be careful. I don't know if I... there's maybe a little bit of unit crossing there. I don't know. I mean, it's not going to be a great place for them to operate, really. The infantry here needs to move forward and actually support this push. They're going to do this. And once again, more cavalry going in. Charging the guns once again. Also infantry as well. I was like, I'm going to send the entire Austrian cavalry corps if I have to against that one gun. We will take it. We finally got that gun, and now I can advance my infantry without really any sort of threat. I can get them right in the face of the Austrians, already wearing them down here. Right in front of the French, I can just put my Austrians. We're wearing them down already, routing them here, as you can see. I think the cuirass is routed. Yeah, oh no, it's wavering. It's shaken, but it's not quite stirred. Bavarian cavalry and infantry has managed to scare back the Austrians for now on that flank. But yeah, now with no canister shot being threatened here, I can just get right in the face of the French and start blasting them with my numerical numbers. And Austria finally looks like he's actually winning some of these fights in the main street as well. Bavarians still holding strong, knowing their fate. They surrender. Execution. Again, France routing more Austrians. They just do it so well. They do it so well. French cav here is finally, well, Bavarian cavalry has been routed here. I don't think we've seen a single unit French cav, to be honest. It's all been Bavarian cavalry. I think that is kind of the summary of Ney's corps, to be honest. There's a little bit of French. A lot of Bavarians. But the Bavarians are pretty solid, though. I quite like them. And it's what you bring if you want numbers. Yeah, France is... Now we've just whittled down this flank here of French. We can now sort of just get in behind in the town, and we should be able to storm and take this town. Hopefully. The French cavalry is coming though. Bavarian cavalry is coming. Going to try and stop his Austrians. He stopped one unit, but the other unit's going to get to the general here. We're actually seeing a general being run down by infantry. Don't see that happen very often. The French cav actually did manage to rout the Austrian infantry, but routed itself, getting shot in the flank here. There goes a general. I don't think we've lost any generals yet with Austria. We've had a pretty good game, not losing any of our generals, but it does not matter anyway at this point whether you have your general or not as France. The game is pretty much up. Might be still a few more wins though here, but that Austrian unit, I mean, saying winning slightly, but morale would say otherwise. Yep, another win for the French there. Got so many, the general staff down here, there's so many general staff in this fight, it generally looks like it's a cav unit. In go the grenadiers into the rear, they should be able to rout quite a few of these generals. And then that should be GG, I'd imagine. The building looks like it's going to be captured soon as well. Chevaliers also going across, farming down kills, I guess, and I guess trying to get to those final few units. Another general dying there. There's an artillery piece over here. I don't know what these huge Bavarian guns were doing all game. Where, I mean, they should have just gotten set up here and then just kind of left it. I would have just kind of left them on this bank and just let them shell at the tried artillery duel with the Austrians. Since they didn't command that center of the battlefield themselves either, the French didn't put anything there. They just kept shelling the 10-pounders and just the Austrian center. Building has been reclaimed. It actually took a little while to actually reclaim that. The grenadiers finally took it back. And now we're just waiting, I think, for the artillery piece over here just to be run down. And then that should be the Battle of Gunzberg. We are going to have a change in history, and Austria is actually going to win it rather than the French. So, yeah, that's going to be a change. It's also nice to see Austria, outdo the French for a change. Oh, jeez. They got a good volley there. It actually routed that unit. That's incredible. Really well done there by the cannon at the last second there, getting some final few kills. And, yeah, we're going to see infantry here. I mean, that just going to run around. Surely not. Please don't just keep doing laps around the battlefield. Let these Austrians catch you. Anyway. We'll just keep fast forwarding. But I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have got to this stage of the battle and are still watching, thank you very much. Very, very much appreciated. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the battle. It's like I said, it's going to be back with some more NTW 3. And yeah, if you want to see more, do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're on here. And if you want to send in any of your own replays or want to feature in any of these scenario battles that we do on the streams, do join the Discord. The link is down below in the description of the video. And yeah, hopefully we should have the end results now on your screen for you to admire and enjoy looking at those stats there. Like I said, I was playing in this one. This was part of a stream we did. I was playing as one of the Austrian armies, one of the Macs. But yeah, I think we all did relatively well. I think most players in this battle, all got some decent kills, to be honest. I can't really remember. It's been a little while since we've done this one. But yeah, it was a really, really good fight. And yeah. Yeah, hopefully you can enjoy looking at all those stats there. Like I said, I think being able to withdraw myself in good order was really, really useful. And actually, well, made a massive difference. If I had not been able to withdraw in good order and taken a lot of losses, it could have been an entirely different game. There wouldn't have been an Austrian right flank to reinforce when those other two armies arrived. The Austrian right flank would have been gone. And yeah. Though we gave up the crossings pretty easily, we knew that we were going to come back for them at one point. We just needed to defeat the French. The French obviously didn't need to keep pushing, but obviously time was against them with reinforcements arriving. So they kept pushing, and then eventually they just ran out of steam. Eventually they did. Anyway, we'll have a quick look at the unit stats. My grenadiers here, I think this is Yeah, I mean, they lost. Yeah, look at them. Actually, a pretty healthy grenadier. This other one, though, is the one I was thinking of. This literally has lost 11 men, but got 146 kills. I don't think I farmed at all really either. But all my grenadiers doing well. 209 kills, 146 kills, 141, 129, 120. I brought 5 of them, 2 combat gens as well. And yeah, these guys just kind of saved my game, to be honest. Most of them can square as well, which helps hold the line. Some of my infantry getting 118 kills, which is not bad as well. But there are the rest of the kills if you want to look at those. There's 10 pounders only getting 71 kills, but they dominated the center and killed off the middle of that battlefield for sure. And even Mac getting a single kill. Very nice. Very nice. But there you go, guys. That is the Battle of Gunzberg. If you did enjoy and want to see more historical battles, do check out the videos appearing on your screen now. Some great ones there. But until next time, I'll see you folks later. Bye for now.